Good morning, my dear students. I take pride in welcoming you for this first online class. To make use of this during the summer holidays, effectively and usefully for your benefits for appearing your public examination well. There may be limitations or shortcomings while attending this online class. It's your responsibility to bear all inconveniences to make or to convert in the comfortable atmosphere and focus your attention on this online class. Now, let me start the first chapter in economics syllabus of class 12. Now, there are 12 chapters in economics. The first chapter is Introduction to Macroeconomics. Two, national income. Three, theories of income and employment. And four, consumption and investment functions. Then five, monetary economics. Six, banking. Seven, international economics. Eight, international economic organizations. Ninth chapter, fiscal economics. 10th chapter deals with environmental economics. 11th chapter is the development of planning. The last chapter is introduction to statistical methods and econometrics. Now let us have our attention on the first chapter. To enlighten the knowledge and basic concepts of macroeconomics. Next, to understand the functioning of economy. These two are the main objectives of this first chapter. You already learned micro and macroeconomics, only the meaning of the terms. But here, you are going to learn elaborately. The subject economics is classified into two, namely microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, this is not the process. The two major parts of economics are micro and macro. Now, Ragnar Fisk, Norwegian economist, and also the co-recipient of the first Nobel Prize in Economics, coined these words, micro and macro. Micro means small and macro means large. Ragnar Fisk was also a Nobel laureate. So, as I mentioned, the co-recipient of first Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences, that is in 1969. Keep it in your mind. The year of the Nobel Prize awarded to two economists, Ragnar Fisk and Jan Tinbergen. This name of the economist is not given in your textbook. That's why I tell you, please note down in your rough notebook or any notebook, and you can refer it later. Now, this Ragnar Fisk, and he coined the words micro and macro. Later, this macroeconomics began with J.M. Keynes to get the modern form. Okay, so macroeconomics in its modern form started or began with J.M. Keynes and his book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in 1936. Wagner Fritz coined the words micro and macro in 1933. J.M. Keynes published his book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money in 1936. Keynes offered an explanation for fallout from the Great Depression. So, this means what? When the goods remained unsold and workers unemployed. This is what reflected from the Great Depression. So this, the great theory was mentioned in his book. That is why J.M. Keynes has been regarded as the father of modern macroeconomics. Father of modern macroeconomics. So, who is the father of modern macroeconomics? J.M. Keynes. Okay. Now, now let us come to know the meaning of the macroeconomics. Actually, the word macro is derived from the Greek word macros, means lot. Macroeconomics is the study of economy as a whole, not an individual part. If you take microeconomics, microeconomics is the study of the economic actions of individual units, say the households, firms, or industries. It studies how the business firms operate and in fixing the price in the market conditions, or how these business firms operate under different market conditions and how the prices are determined. That is why microeconomics is called as price theory, whereas macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole. In other words, it deals with aggregates such as national income, output, and inflation or employment. That is why it is also known as income theory. Macroeconomics is also known as what? Income theory. What is the other name of macroeconomics? Income theory. What is the other name of microeconomics? Price theory. Yeah, please don't get confused. The other names of micro and macro. So the macro is also known as income theory. Okay. Now let us understand how the macroeconomics is useful or what is the importance of macroeconomics. The first point is there is a need to understand the functioning of an economy at the aggregate level to evolve the suitable strategies to solve the basic problems. Okay, this is first importance. Now, the second important point is that understanding the future problems, needs, and challenges of an economy as a whole is important to measure or to evolve the corrective or the precautionary measures. Okay. Now, the next importance of macroeconomics is macroeconomics provides ample opportunities to use scientific investigation to understand the reality. We say science is based on experiments, and economics is also based on experiments in the sense scientific investigation. That is why use of scientific investigation is stressed here. The next is macroeconomics helps for better prediction about the future. The future conditions are to be analyzed in a proper manner. That is what the macroeconomics states. And the last one is macroeconomics is very important in knowing non-economic factors and economic factors. Okay, so macro non-economic factors and macroeconomic factors. Okay, so these factors are available for evolving suitable policies. Understood? So these are the points with regard to the importance of macroeconomics. So 5 points. The first point is very important one to know the evaluation or evolution of the suitable policies to solve the basic problems. Number two, to understand the basic problems, needs, and challenges. Now, the third point is use of scientific investigation to understand the reality. Number four, macroeconomics helps in knowing the various conditions of the economy about future. Then last one is the economic conditions. That is, all the economic and the non-economic factors are to be studied in a very careful manner. Okay, so these are the 5 points. Next, we shall pass to the scope of economics. You know, the study of economics has wide scope. As I already mentioned, the important subjects that are covered in macroeconomics are, say, national income, inflation, output, then disparity, equality, then balance of payments, international trade, then balance of trade, capital formation, then investment and saving. So these are the areas covered in macroeconomics. Okay. Now that is why we say that macroeconomics has a wide scope. Now let us see one by one. The first is national income. National income means the total money value of goods and services produced in a country, within a country, during a particular year. Okay, this is what is called national income. But here we analyze national income, how national income has the role in macroeconomics. Okay, so measurement of national income and its the composition or by sectors are very important. They are the basic concepts of national or macroeconomics. Okay, so to understand the basic concepts of national income, so the macroeconomics has widely dealt with all these aspects. The next one, inflation. Even the people who never go to school also know this term in Tamil, Panavi term. But They don't understand. They don't know how it is created and what does it mean. But they come to know what is inflation. That is in Tamil, they come to understand Panavika. Something they understand. That is in the words of layman. But in economics, what is inflation? Inflation refers to steady increase in general price level. It is not up and down like a business cycle, rising, downing, or going up, again coming down. It is not in that trend. The prices of all the commodities, it goes on increase. Okay, so that is why the steady increase in general price level. The general price level, that is estimating the general price level for constructed by several economic indicators or index numbers such as wholesale price index and the consumer price index. Wholesale price index means the index of the variation. That means or a representative basket of wholesale goods. That is wholesale price index. What is wholesale price index? Sometimes it may be asked in one more question. So wholesale price index means the amount of or the price of a representative basket of wholesale goods. Next, consumer price index. Consumer price index is an index of the variation in price of retail goods. Here, wholesale goods. In consumer index, retail goods. Okay, this is how the economic aspects and the construction of the price indexes are measured. Okay. So the next scope of macroeconomics is business cycle. Business cycle is nothing but a series of economic expansion and contraction. That is what is called business cycle. Now, almost all economies face the problem of business fluctuations and business cycle. Uh, the economic or the cyclical movements in the economy or boom here business cycle boom next recession then depression next is recovery. These are called cyclical movements in the economy. But boom, recession, depression, and recovery. The meaning of these terms are not given in your textbook, but anyhow you should understand. Okay. Now, these, the steps or the concepts, boom, recession, depression, and recovery. These are to be carefully studied only through macroeconomic analysis. Okay. Now, boom. Boom means it's a period of high economic growth. Period of economic growth. Next, recession. Recession means regain a former condition. That is recession. Then comes depression. Depression, that is, you know, a period of economic difficulty in which there is high unemployment and low level of output and investment. That is what is found during this period. Which period? Depression. Okay. Next is recovery. So here the economy is also in the low condition. First is what? It shows the high economic growth. Then the second, recession. Recession states that there is little being bought and sold, or it's an economic condition where little is being bought and sold. In depression, there is no growth in the economy. That means people have no purchasing power and there is no the sufficient production, and even the production is made, the selling is very, very small. Actually, what the depression shows that during this period of the economy, there is high level of unemployment. So this causes what? The low level of output and investment. That is what is called here. Recovery. Recovery states to regain the welfare of the condition or the former condition. It was better, it was a little better. So that condition is to be regained. So that is now here. These are the concepts that are mentioned under business cycle. So, decision, depression, and recovery. Okay, so these are to be kept in your mind for your reference. Then comes origin and unemployment. This is also studied in macroeconomics. The most of the economics. The major problems of the most resource-rich nations face these problems: poverty and unemployment. A clear-cut study of these problems is to be made carefully, otherwise the country will go down. The country will lose all its economic prospects. Okay, so that is why the careful study is to be made regarding this poverty and unemployment. Then next comes economic growth. How the economic growth has the role of its impact in macroeconomics. Actually, the economic growth. First, understand the meaning of economic growth. Economic growth means it's a transformation from one state to the state of that is under development to the development. Understood? The change of transferring from a state of underdevelopment to a state of development. Okay, it is measured by gross domestic product. That is economic growth. Now, economic growth and the development of an economy and the factors determining them. The factors. Economic growth and economic development. Economic development means what? Economic development is an increase in the citizens' quality life and well-being of a country, which is measured by per capita income. That is very, very important. You understand the difference between economic growth and economic development. Economic growth is a stage from underdevelopment to development. Whereas in economic development, we see the citizens' quality of life. In which country a citizen has high quality of life, high per capita income, that country is called a developed country. Okay, so here economic development states the citizens' quality of life rising and also the well-being of the country, which are measured by per capita income, along with several other indicators. Okay, this is how this has the main role in the macroeconomics. The last one is economic policy. Macroeconomics is significant for evolving economic policies. Economic policies are necessary to evolve the basic planning or the basic problems and how the basic problems are solved and to overcome the obstacle. What prevents the growth of an economy that has to be analyzed? That is to overcome obstacle and to achieve growth. Okay, so that is what the economic policies mentioned under the scope of macroeconomics. Okay, now sometimes this part can be asked under 5 mark category. So explain elaborately about the scope of macroeconomics. Now, the main points that you have to remember are national income, inflation, business cycle, poverty and unemployment, then economic growth. The last one is economic policies. That's what. As far as economics is concerned, every concept is very, very essential. You must understand the meaning of all the concepts word by word, then only it can be understandable. Otherwise, you will get confusion and you cannot have a clear idea on the concepts of the, especially basic concepts of the economics. Understood? Now, so what are the points that we have seen now? The first is the introductory part, how the terms are coined. The terms are the coins coined by Wagner Fritz, micro and macro, in which year? 1933. Wagner Fritz and Jan Tinbergen were awarded Nobel Prize in economics in the year 1969. In 1933, the terms were coined. Micro and macro were coined by Wagner Fritz. Now you should not get confusion. The year of award of the Nobel Prize in economics and when these terms were coined. The next is the macroeconomics became modern. Modern economics, modern macroeconomics. That is in which year? In 1936, after the publication of the book The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. So you have to keep in your mind the name of the book and when it was published, in which year. Okay. Then the next is the importance of macroeconomics. Then the scope of macroeconomics. Then another step that we are going to see is limitations of macroeconomics. You have already seen the advantages or importance of macroeconomics. Now we come to see the limitations or shortcomings of macroeconomics. The first point is that there is a danger of excessive generalization of an economy. Generalization, that is, bringing to common, bringing all things to common. That is excessive generalization. That is one, limitation that is found in macroeconomics. Now the next point is that it assumes homogeneity among all the individual units. That means what? All the individual units are same. That is what is predicted here. So homogeneity is found among all the individual units, and that is also, you know, pitfall that is found in macroeconomics. If you take any form varies from the various aspects regarding their production or adoption of a new technology or investing their money. Everything varies from firm to firm, but here homogeneity among all individual units. The next is there is a fallacy of composition. There is a fallacy of composition. That means what is our, what is good of the individual is not good for a country or is not good for a nation. An individual, it can be good, but for a country, it may not be good. What is good of a country is not good for another country or at another time. So this is also one of the disadvantages that is found. And the last one is the non-economic factors. Non-economic factors determine economic factors. The non-economic factors determine economic factors which do not find in the usual macroeconomics books. You see, parents take their children. Parents offer their service towards their growth of children. The service rendered by the parents is not counted in the national income. So that is also found the shortcoming of macroeconomics. Okay. So there is no valuable thing focused on the services of the parents. So the services rendered by the parents should also be considered as economic factors. So that is what the last limitation states. Okay, so these are the limitations of macroeconomics. Uh, so you see, this part is very important one. This is mainly dealt with macroeconomics. Okay, you see, these aspects to be referred daily, and I have told you the importance of macroeconomics. Next is the scope of macroeconomics and the limitations of macroeconomics. All these points are to be noted down in your rough note. I think most of you have no textbooks, but what are the points mentioned here are to be noted down and you must refer. And when you come to physical classes, then you can clarify your doubts. Okay. Now, so far you have been patient and listened to these aspects of macroeconomics. Really, I'm very thankful to you for your patience. I will be uh, extending your cooperation. So thank you for your patience and cooperation. Goodbye till we meet again.